There are 99 counties in the state of Iowa, and most of them have one thing in common. Of those 99, 80 counties have either signed up for or have already received their very own Freedom Rock. The Freedom Rock is a very large freestanding boulder covered in patriotic paintings by artist Ray Bubba Sorensen.
Some of them are small, some are tall, but it depends on what the community wants, and so we are in the process now of setting up a committee to make those recommendations to him. It takes about a week or two to do a rock, and he comes into the community and does the artwork, and he's very good. And what the process that we're using is that he asks us for recommendations on what should be on the rock, because that rock represents the county. Our rock will represent Black Hawk County, and so we have lined up a committee to recommend what we would like to see on the rock, and it should focus around freedom, patriotism, our flag, all of those things that are important to our country and to our veterans.
Each rock is different, based on the area and the ideas of the artist. After the July 7th City Council meeting, the Council voted to approve the Cedar Falls Freedom Rock for placement in the Veterans Park.
The Council unanimously supported the Freedom Rock to be located at the Veterans Park. And a lot of veterans are very happy about that decision, and I'm very pleased too.
A rock has not yet been chosen for Cedar Falls, but once it is, the next steps can take place.
We're in the process right now of finding a rock. We have a lot of offers. People have called and said, you know, we have one, you can have it if you want it. And so the process right now is to select a rock, take pictures, send it to the artist. Then also the committee that who's going to recommend what's on the rock, we are going to collect that, send that to the artist, and he will then send back what he thinks would be would fit the rock and be something that would represent freedom.
One issue that will need to be sorted out is just where the rock will be going in the park. A path would need to be created that goes around the entire rock, and there may not be room in the center of Phase 2 of the Veterans Park.
When Bubba paints these rocks, they are meant to be painted all the way around the rock. So it's to be viewed on all sides. So that will take a little bit more room, certainly to allow the public to walk entirely around the rock. Because the rock was not part of the original design concept, we will have to probably field locate it. And by what I mean by that is once we find out how big the rock is going to be, how much space it's going to take up, we'll just go out and walk the sites and just try to determine what the optimum location is. It could be located in the original Veterans Park, or it could be located in Veterans Park Phase 2. So we'll work with the committee on that, the committee that's working on the images, and of course Sid Morris and Mike Butler, who have been meeting with me on a weekly basis on this project.
The rock will have very little impact on the taxpayer.
Sid has, of course, done a fantastic job. He's been able to talk to a lot of community leaders as far as donating time, materials, or dollars to the project. At this time, really the only implication that we would see to any sort of general fund or tax dollars would be our staff that would take part in some of the placing the design elements, such as the limestone block or doing the seeding or planting trees and those sorts of things. But as far as any sort of monetary impact to the public, we don't see that being an issue at all.
If all goes well, Phase 2 of the park, including rock, should be finished this year.
We're hopeful that the facility would be mostly complete by this fall. It may reach into next spring. But once the facility is complete, we will have a ribbon cutting, and we will invite the public to come down and view the park at that time.
For Channel 15 City News, I'm Nathan Grieve.